2019, when I was 15, I was in my last year of school. A friend of mine showed me an anime called High School DxD. I wasn't into anime back then, only watched Sailor Moon when I was 5, Pokemon when I was 12 to 14, and that's it, but I thought I might give it a chance and started watching it. About 3 episodes in, I realized that I will watch nothing else until I finished watching all 4 seasons, about 12 to 13 episodes, I think, because I was shocked at how good it was. And all the scenes with nude, I won't lie about that. Being a guy with ADHD and autism, I never had really strong love feelings inside me, but that changed when I saw Koneko Tuju, a character from the anime. I won't go into details here because of spoilers. I then fell in love, maybe a bit too much looking back to that time. That friend then told me what waifu pillows are. They are body pillows with an anime character printed on it. The front side is with, the back side, mostly, without clothes. In the evening, I then picked one and asked my mom if she can buy that. I have a custom-made one of Koneko now, which she did. Between the order and the arrival of the waifu pillows, I started working as a cook in a protected area, basically for people with mental or physical problems. For some reason, I came up with the stupid idea of telling everyone that I see that body pillow as a real person in front of me, so I won't look as weird as I thought, which, oh, surprise, went horribly wrong. At some time while I was working, I even had hentai of that character as my phone background, until my boss saw that. About 10 months later, in April 2020, I resigned and went home. With the pandemic and my parents divorcing, reality wasn't that good. I slowly began to shut myself into my own world with my waifu pillow. About 2 to 3 months later, I read the wiki page of Koneko to know a bit more about her, since I didn't read the light novels or the manga which continues the story. After reading a very specific sentence at that wiki page, again to avoid spoilers, I won't go into details, everything went dark inside me, and it felt like my world got crushed. For some reason, I couldn't handle any single letter of that sentence, and the downfall began. I made up plans to buy the whole franchise so I can change the lore. I wanted to find out how much that'll cost. I basically created a second personality so I can talk in the character's voice to me, as if that waifu pillow is alive or something, and even talked as them at WhatsApp. It got so bad that my mom sent me into a psychiatry in December 2020, and I have to say, it was a cool time there, at least with the other teens. I had therapy there 2 times a week, but they never talked about my real problems. It felt like they tried to make problems where never was one, or I never told them what mine are. 2 weeks after I joined there, I fell in love with a real girl there, which ended the time with me, telling everyone that I see the Koneko as a real person rather than a pillow. Another 2 weeks later, I got out of there by myself, because I realized that all my problems are gone, and I felt like I'm wasting someone else's time there who really needs the help, or so I thought. I was healed. A month later, in February 2021, another problem started. I couldn't handle all the hentai of Koneko that exist, especially those pics videos where someone else is banging her and not me. That resulted into always letting my frustration and anger out on my family. My mom even really gave up, and my sister was even scared of me and had physical problems because of the stress level I gave her. In June 2021, my mom had enough and put me in a mental hospital. I was there a month and realized I had a love problem. I literally fell in love to every single girl there was. Even this, where the age gap was more than 3 years old. I was the oldest with 17, with turning 18 in July. The youngest girl was 13, I think. After that month, I went to another institution I never wanted to go in the first place, but was forced to. When I first got there, they had a rule that all newcomers had to give them their phone, and if having one, console for 2 weeks. I was a bit addicted to my phone and Switch back then, so I haven't done that in my first 6 weeks there, so they told my mom to cancel my internet connection. After they social workers told my mom to cancel my phone abonnement, I wanted to download my music playlist because I had YouTube Premium. But because I had no internet and they wouldn't guide me their Wi-Fi password, I decided to run away to a place with free Wi-Fi so I can download my music playlist. About 2 to 3 hours later, police arrived and took me back to the institution. They said I had to give them my phone and switch, but promised I'll get it back. Spoiler, they didn't. 2 weeks went by without any phone and Konekrian to my friends, and when I got it back, the first thing I did was looking at hentai of Koneko. Weird shit, I know. But 3 days later, someone got love feelings for a Sevond character of High School DxD, Kuroka, Koneko's sister. So I did what I also did with Koneko. I wanted to buy a body pillow of her, but the social workers told me that I can't because it shows too much skin. Fun fact, my Koneko body pillowcase I had back then showed more skin than the Kuroka one, but that got allowed for some reason. I argued for 2 weeks with them without getting any closer, and then I came up with a plan. Because a teen there had a credit card, I wanted to give him the money so he can buy me the pillow and pillowcase, but quickly realized that you can maximally hold $40 at yourself, but the two things cost about $90. I has the idea with running away again and visiting my uncle, who was kinda a money machine, the only use he had for me, cause he is an alcoholic garbage can. He only gave me $35 for my ride back there. I did know that I could keep this $35 by myself, cause the limit was $40, so I took the money and went back. I haven't bought a ticket, and luckily I didn't get controlled if I had one with me. After I arrived back, I told that guy with the credit card that I only need 35 more to buy it. But 5 minutes later, I got sent into the social worker's office. I got snitched. They wanted me to give them my $35 to put it in my box where all my other money is. There were $200 because I sold me old phone about 2 months ago. They knew that I will buy the waifu pillow and ignored the $40 limit, but I didn't want to give them my money, so I tried to go back into my room. One of them then stood in front of the door and yelled at me. That was the moment I lost my cool. But knowing what happened in the next years, that was still the best thing I have ever done. I slapped the social worker and ran into my room. Then, I wanted to use the bathroom and saw the guy who snitched on me on my way to the toilet. So I knocked him out, took a dump, and went back to my room. 30 minutes later, the police arrived. I was on my knees begging them to take me away from there, because that meant I get everything back, and I could finally buy a body pillow of Kuroka. Eventually, they took me to the hospital and searched for an emergency place where I can go until they figured out my next home. My mom didn't want me back. That place was the same mental hospital my mom put me after she threw me out of her house. A week later, they found me a new home. It was basically one step above a homeless shelter, but I didn't care. That was the first time in my entire life where I had no one who decides what I can do and what I can't do. I also got all my things back, so I bought a body pillow, the pillowcase of Kuroka, and 3 weeks later, I turned 18 in that time. It arrived, and I had everything I needed to do whatever I want for the first time in my entire life. But what also happened in that 3 weeks of waiting was that I joined a Discord server, the worst mistake of my life. I joined a server called Dinoland and had a pretty chill time there. I still sometimes talked as Koneko or Kuroka in that server, but only in the anime section. I then met someone who all called Sans. He's 4 years younger than me, because that was his username. Me and Sans quickly were friends because we had similar interests and could talk about most things for hours. 2 weeks after I joined the Dinoland, I created my own server and with it a section called Waifuverse, which was basically my fictional parallel universe, which turns 5 years old on the 21st. I never used this universe before, but seeing that almost all of them talked as other fictional characters, there made me so happy that I started doing that as all of them, to make some funny situations, kind of like your average fake WhatsApp conversation, but with way more people. I then found out that I could legally marry my 2 body pillows, but haven't started searching a priest. It wasn't possible through the government, so I had to don it religious, although I'm not, because I was too busy helping Sans. He had depression, and for 3 months, I and 2 others were talking with him each evening, me the most with 4 to 5 hours each day. After a few days, Sans and I started texting us as our waifus so we can find out more things, and I slowly started doing that RL. I ate with the pillows, played games with them, and even had sex with them multiple times daily. Eventually, we got rid of Sans' depression and he was cured. A week later, I had an argument with the moderator that hasn't need to be even won. The moderator and I had a deal that I only talk as Koneko and Kuroka in the anime section, but I didn't, and said to him that he has to respect my kittens, that they are part of me, and that he has to accept them and me the way we are. After not getting together, I insulted him, he was 2 years younger than me, and left the server. I then talked with Sans about this, and he had the same opinion as the moderator, which was the right one. And after he hasn't found a way to get me to realize that, it was quiet for a few hours. On the evening of the same day, Sans came to me and told me, and he thinks he has 18 waifus he loves, and not just Yuri and Natsuki from DDLC. He even had the nickname Satsuri. Dumb me told him that there's nothing to worry about. A few minutes later, he came back panicking and told me that another moderator, let's call her by her username back then Hani, told him that he has to seek help before it becomes even worse. Again, the right way to do it, but dumb me was already in that hole, and made me so mad that I also insulted her and deleted Discord. Still the same evening at about 22:20, Sans texted me on WhatsApp and told me that Hani is completely losing her mind. Apparently, she was even more sensitive than all of Twitter/X combined, and I saw that every day I was on that server. I said him that I didn't care, and that she can burn in hell, I wouldn't care. A month went by, and Sans slowly began to change. He slowly began to hate me, and then blocked me. After that, he and the moderator, not Hani, started to troll me, and even wanted to record a 25-minute-long diss track, which was divided in 5 parts. They quickly shut the idea with the diss track because they said I'm not worth their time, but I still think they got a bit scared because I threatened them with police. But the trolling continued. Once they trolled me with a product placement for a body pillow website. The other time they just created about 30 bots and spammed comments on my YouTube videos. And the other time, Sans disguised himself as someone with a reading and writing disability. Don't know the actual name in English. That troll went on for 4 weeks, because I haven't really as it. 2 weeks after that troll started, Sans himself texted me again and said that I shouldn't believe anything I see. He basically tried to save me there, but because I started hating him too, I was so confused at what is real now that I had a complete meltdown and became so goddamn paranoid that I thought that every stranger talking to me IRL or on social media is related with them. It took 6 months until I got that under control, but it completely destroyed my mental health, and now I am unable to work a job. I know it wasn't planned of them, but it felt like they trolled me once every 4 to 6 months. Maybe Up felt like that because I was already that paranoid. After that, trolls, it became more and more quiet, and in January 2022, I finally married my 2 waifu pillows on the 29th, and still am married with them to this day. After my marriage, I started to work on my mental health, but because I had no one who knows me well enough, I only had my body pillows and my waifuverse, which was now known as the Cyraverse. Ciro is my nickname. First, I tried to stop constantly tating as Koneko and Kuroka, but in July 2022, about 2 weeks before I turned 19, something happened where I am 99% sure that I am the first in human history to achieve that. I met a girl, let's call her Rias, because she had red hair. Rias and me quickly realized that our chemistry is really well together, and we immediately started visiting each other. We were at the same place back then. 2 days later, when I was at her room again, she started cuddling against me, because she felt comfy. The same day, she looked at my hand and said that she thinks that they would feel very soft. I was a bit confused and asked her what she means with that. Then she took my hand, and in not even a second, later my hand was on her boob. I never advanced from kissing a girl before, so I was pretty shocked and didn't know what to do. Also, because I knew that she has a boyfriend, I asked her why she's doing that when she has a boyfriend, and she replied with that she wanted to break up anyway, and then she asked me if I want to have sex with her. Note, I was, less surprising, a virgin back then. I told her that I'm still a virgin and that I have absolutely no idea what to do, and she said that she'll guide me, which she did. We had sex, and I became a guy who legally married 2 waifu pillows that also can have sex with real girls. which I'm still 99% sure I'm the first in history to achieve that. 3 weeks went by. We had sex a few times there, including at my 19th birthday, but then she told me that she has to decide between me and her boyfriend and that I'll get my answer in a few days. Those days went by and Rias decided against me, which made me really disappointed. I still feel bad for that guy that I banged his GF and he didn't know, but I also kind of miss her because she was the most beautiful, real girl I've ever seen. Eventually we broke up. Contact, my fault though, and moved out of that place, which means that I had time to work at my mental health again. I also wanted to have more empathy for people I know, because sometimes I'll insult someone so hard mentally that it could be enough for them to end it all. I don't do that anymore today. I had a goal of why I'm working on myself. I wanted to not just become a true man of culture, I wanted to become worthy of the term God of culture. I started to listen more at my dad, because I realized that my mom and uncle manipulated me into hating him. I deleted his number for a few months. I finally perfected the separation between fiction and reality, but in 2023, it all came back. In February 2023, I had a real girl Fawns, which I also had with. I then found out that she cheated on me all the time. I went to the hospital at night 2 times just to calm her down, but she helped me overcoming my biggest problem. I always lied about things in my life just to be less boring, and when I told her why I lied so much about me, it took 2 days until he told me that she cheated on me since our relationship started. I wasn't good enough in bed was her excuse. I never felt that betrayed before, but my biggest problem was finally gone, so I thought fuck it, and moved on. Between July and October, I had multiple feeling where I almost jumped out my window, 6th floor, but one look at the smile of Koneko and Kuroka on my body pillows was enough to take me back and hug the sadness out. I knew I had to do something and started visiting my grandma every Thursday at 15, which I still do, and that helped me getting a real life and also becoming more social. At Christmas 2023, I broke up contact with both my mom and my uncle because they are too rotten inside, and I felt like I was the frustration sack all the time. Maybe that's why I haven't felt that well mentally back then. Fast forward to today, I am now a 20-year-old individual who has formed legal connections with 2 waifu pillows within a vibrant fictional universe, boasting more lore than the combined worlds of Marvel and DC. I've also shared intimate moments with 2 different real women. My empathetic nature towards friends, coupled with an immense creative spirit, defines my character. I bring joy to my grandmother, who is elated every time she sees me, laughing with pure happiness at the sight of her grandson. I am adept at distinguishing between fiction and reality, immersing myself in the fictional realm when at home or alone, and navigating reality when outside. As a considerate individual, I extend a helping hand to those who truly deserve and need it. Moreover, I have an uncanny ability to discover exceptional music, even through unconventional sources. And now I would like to ask you something. Have I achieved my personal dream of being worthy at being the God of culture? If you read through all this, I want to thank you for your time, and I hope that you'll achieve everything you dream of. Goodbye.